Bulldog Nation, you are now going to witness, watch, and listen to the best podcast in the league. Get set for a wild ride with From the Hill Podcast, featuring Wayne Cartwright, Damian Green, Tenarius Gooden, David Thomas, Jennifer Murray, and Corey Williams. Don't miss out. Subscribe now to From the Hill Podcast. It's time to turn up the excitement and make some noise.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome. And what's up, Dave? How you doing, my
What's
brother?
up, man? How you doing?
Good, brother. We living.
Hey, before you go any further, that hat.
Yeah.
That hat,
It's
man.
it's a R&R exclusive. R&R exclusive.
Man, I'm so mad at R&R. You know, we were down there for the Southern game, man. I was trying my damnedest to get some A&M gear, and I went to Walmart, and they had, you know, some things, but nothing that I really wanted. And so I remember I was in the chat with y'all saying, hey, what can I get some A&M gear? I was like, try to go R&R. They open at 9 o'clock. So I was like, all right, good. Man, I get there. They were not open at all. So I was like, all right, do some more running around. I went back to Walmart, kind of changed my mind, but still didn't want nothing from Walmart. Then I went to Dick's Sporting Goods, and then I said, well, let me circle back to R&R because it's about maybe like an hour and a half later. Maybe they open later, right? Man, them jokers still wasn't open. So that's why I had on my From the Hill podcast t-shirt, which I didn't mind wearing, you know what I'm saying, trying to, you know, push the brand out there. So, but I was really hoping I can get something from there because, you know, T is always saying, you know, he gets some really great stuff from there. And then now you come on here with this hat on and oh man, but hold on. But I did get this from R&R Sports though. T actually went there and got me on FaceTime and put some things together for me. So I did get this from them, but I wanted something, you know, game day. But it's all good though.
That's what's up, man. You know, yeah, man. It's always good to get some stuff though. You know, I'm planning to get some more stuff when I go down there in February. So, you know, shout out to R&R Sports, man. If you live locally or even when you come into town, you know, make sure you go hit them up. Man, we just gave them a free plug, didn't we?
Okay. 2-minute conversation about R&R Sports.
Hey, you know what I'm saying, man? It was, you know, them some good folks, man. So shout out to them. All right, so it's you and me, man. We doing this thing tonight. So everybody that's tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. Everybody hit that like button. You know, either if you're watching it on Facebook or you're watching it on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe if you have not subscribed to us. And then also across the bottom of the screen, we have all of our updated sports schedules. So volleyball, they're winding down the regular season. They got 2 matches at home this weekend. They'll have senior day on Sunday. You've also got bowling. Shout out to bowling, by the way, man.
Definitely shout out to bowling.
Getting it done again, man. Hornet Classic, They got it done. So, you know, shout out to Coach James Moore, man. Y'all doing it big, even ranked in the country, man.
What is it, 22? I think they're ranked.
Yeah, one of those, man. They doing it. They doing it.
Shout out to the bowling team.
Yeah, and then women's basketball for getting a win over Eastern Michigan. They're currently in play right now against UAB. They're in the event center. And then, you know, they've got the annual school day game that's coming up next Wednesday at home in the event center. And then the men, they'll be back in full effect tomorrow night against Fisk. And then they hit the road this weekend when they get to take on Tennessee State. And then, of course, football, the home finale is taking place on Thursday. Not Saturday this week. It's on Thursday. And it'll be on ESPNU going up against those G-men from Grambling. So,
and also to mention about that game, Wayne, that game is Student Appreciation Day, and it's also a blackout game. So if you are going to attend the game, I just got caught up by the by the score. It threw me off. If
Yeah,
you're
so we're
going to the game,
down by two with 4:21 left. We'll make
let's go
sure we
Bulldogs.
update y'all. Let's go.
Let's go Bulldogs. But yeah, it's a blackout game and student appreciation. So if you're going to attend the game, make sure you wear all black.
That's it. Yep. And ESPNU, you'll get on TV. You could be seen. Shout out to Tiffany Green and Jay. All right. Let's get into our we got a brief little housekeeping for you, but very effective, and it's focused upon our 150th campaign. Dave, take the wheel, man.
Yeah, so of course, if you haven't seen this, then I don't know what you've been doing, but everybody's been talking about it, and university definitely has been pushing it on social media. It's the 150th celebration of the university, and they have this campaign going on. And so I wanted to just show real quick, because people may not know this part of the information. They just know what the university is asking for, right? So within this campaign, the university has 3 priorities you guys can see on the screen, right? So priority 1 is focused on the community. Priority 2 is science, and then priority 3 is scholarships. So under priority 1, this is going to focus on the beautification of the campus, right? Upgrades to new buildings and just the whole aesthetic of the campus. So we're looking at a new student center, a new Meridian Street Bridge. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen that. Vice President Ali has been on the show and mentioned the campaign for the Meridian Street Bridge. And then Hillcrest, as you guys know, at the very top of the hill, the old president's house, right? So they're going to redo that, and then a new athletic complex. Now I tried to get the pictures, Wayne, from the campaign website, but they had wording on it, so I didn't want to have to figure out how to get the words off. But you guys can definitely go out to the website and check that information out. So then under priority 2, we're talking about a new science center. So this was already been, I believe, approved by the board to get a new science center. So you guys have also seen the circulation of that going on. And then under priority 3, we're talking about scholarship, right? So scholarship support, faculty support, research support, and program support. So when the university is saying, hey, we want to try to raise $150 million by December 2025, this is what all those things are going to. So I want all the Bulldogs to please consider participating in this campaign. And so on the next slide, we all know that, okay, they want to give, right? But they don't want the alumni to fully fund the whole entire campaign, right? There's a percentage, that we come in, which is that you guys can see on the screen, that 10% where it says individual, right? So from the university, they're asking for 10,000 alumni to commit to $1,500 in gifts to support this campaign, right? And there's various ways that you can donate this $1,500, right? If you got it to drop all at once, hey, go ahead, drop it all at once. But if you can't, you can go on to the university's website at www.aamu.edu/give, and you can set up your donation amount and how frequently you want the donation to be deducted from your debit card, checking account, or your credit card. They had what those things are. They have formulas on Facebook saying, hey, if you do $25 per week all the way up to December 2025, you hit your $1,500. So there's various ways you guys can participate in this, but I think it's really important, not just that it's the mark of the milestone for the university, but because we're in different circles and everybody constantly says the same thing, right? They want to see upgrades to this. They want to see upgrades to that. University needs to do this. Well, here's a campaign for them to address some of the things that, we've all been talking about, but we have to, do our part in this. So if we can definitely get the 10,000 alumni to commit to $1,500 and participate in this, I think we'll definitely hit that milestone from our section, right? So if you see the funding breakdown, it has different sectors on where they plan to target to get that $150 million, right? So you have in-kind donations, you got corporate sponsorships, you got investments, and all sorts of things. They're going to try to get this $150 million. Then with your donation, you get this nice little keepsake. It's the 150th anniversary pin. But there will be other keepsakes, throughout this whole entire campaign that they will be, presenting. There are going to be events. Last week we tried to have I forgot her name. Who do we have on last week or the week before? Miss Latanya, I think what her name
Yeah,
is.
Latanya.
Yeah, we tried to get her to give us some details about what the university has planned for the celebration, but she didn't share us with anything. But I really urge all alumni, 10,000 alumni, to participate in this campaign. I'll be participating in this campaign, setting my donations up. So yeah, I just felt like I wanted to make sure everybody had this information, because again, everybody's putting out, or the university is putting out this campaign, participating, but I don't think many people know exactly what this money will be going to. So if you guys want more detail about this entire campaign, definitely check out the university website, www.aamu.edu/150, and that will take you directly to the entire overview of the campaign.
Hey, Alicia made it real simple for everybody to see it. $28.85 every week in 2025. So,
and she put $28.85 because why? Do not skip out on that fee.
That's it.
Everybody likes to forget the fee. Don't skip out on the fee.
That's it.
Don't skip out on the fee.
That's it. So, yeah, man. Everybody, I'm definitely gonna do mine. I know Jay the Great, you gonna get in on this too. So yeah, this will be great, man, to get this to do this campaign, and it'll be a joyous celebration, man, all throughout 2025, man. 150 years. So
definitely,
that's everything we got for all of the housekeeping. And so with all of that said, all things considered, it's time to get started tonight with our guests of honor. So we've been looking to have this group on for quite a while, and it gives us great pleasure to welcome for the first time a very accomplished sport on the Hill. It'll be our tennis team, and it'll be joined by our head coach Willis Bandy and Tukozu Zungu. How are you this evening?
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Hey, I said to Coach Willis, I said I practiced saying your name about 50 times, so I wanted to make sure I had it right. So we got it.
No,
I was practicing
it.
her
You
name
got
also,
it.
Wayne. I was still messing up. I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna butcher this name when she come on here.
Hey guys, we tried to give you the two toughest names for the evening.
Yeah, we see. You definitely accomplished that.
But practice makes perfect. Practice
Absolutely.
makes perfect. Yes.
Hey, when I officiate track meets and I work as a clerk, that's the people who, they put athletes in their lanes and give them their lane assignments and tell them rules of the race. I have this rule: if I can't say the last name, I say the first name. If I can't say the first name, I just say the last name. If I can't say either one, I'll just say a cool girl from Alabama A&M University in lane number 6. Because I'm like, you are not about to have me butchering anybody's names anywhere at any time. Or my other trick is this. Say last name. Say it for the people.
Zungu.
Yeah, there it is. That's my other trick.
Here, one more time, right, Wayne?
Yep. I'm like, say it for me, and then they'll say it. I'm like, there you go. It's said.
There you go. Yes.
So anyhow, welcome to the show. It is a pleasure to have you all on. Tennis is been doing some really, really big things, and I want to first start off by saying congratulations about the HBCU tournament championship. Talk about that to start off with, Coach, and then talk about some of your players and just everything that happened with the tournament according to both of your perspectives.
Wayne, thank you so much for having us, and thanks for everything you do for all the sports at Alabama A&M. The HBCU championship was a great accomplishment for our program. We've been getting really close the past couple of years. I think we've had a few top three finishes. We've actually had one of our players win the Flight A championships 2 years ago. So we've gotten kind of close. But this year, what made it special is collectively as a team, we played really well. Now, and credit to the young ladies because they made a decision as a team. I mean, we made a decision as a team that we're going to go out there and actually try and win it this time. No, so with the intention to go out and try and win it, and the performances that we kept out there during the weekend, the team spirit was amazing. I was so happy with the way we were cheering for each other, and collectively we finally got it done, and we were so excited. It's been a personal goal for me, and to have these young ladies accomplish it, it's just something special. It's going to be a special part of my life for the rest of my coaching career.
Tukozo, you played in it, so talk about it from your perspective.
Well, winning the HBCU has been something that's, been lingering in our minds. I mean, I'm a senior and this is my second year playing the HBCU. So I don't really have a lot of understanding as to how to play it as a team. But then when we all got out there, we all had the same mindsets of, we all want to do well and we want to do well together. So when we went out there, we did what we had to do individually, and then as a team, eventually, it built up. And surprisingly, the day before we were given the win, we didn't know that we were in the lead. One of the boys came to us and was like, "Did you guys know that you guys are leading by a mile?" And I'm like, there's no way. And then when we looked, we were like, oh my gosh, like we're actually, in the lead. So now it was just a matter of, keeping that lead, but, while remaining humble and focused on, the task at hand. And eventually, like Coach said, the team spirit is one thing that kept us going because we're all like-minded individuals. We all want greatness for ourselves and our program. So we went out there, did our thing, and it was definitely remarkable. Such a great experience.
That sounds awesome. I can just imagine like the shock when you guys just faced when they said you guys are leading. You guys like, what? No, that can't be possible. I bet that was just great. But Coach, I wanted to ask you, and some may not know, but you were a student here at A&M, right? Before you became the coach.
Correct.
Okay, and so you also played tennis, and from my research and everything, you were a great player as well as a great student. Graduating, was it summa cum laude? You graduated?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask about, how that feels, you being a student athlete here at A&M and now coming back to coaching. Do you think this was always in your path? Because you accomplished a lot of things. I'm just going to go down the list of some. Some of those things were, you were the director, and correct me if I'm wrong in any of this, the director of the Huntsville Arena Tennis Association and the head pro at the Dublin Tennis Center. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So it seems like with all those things, the path of coach was going to come down your way anyway. So was it always a plan to go back and coach, whether it be at the collegiate level or at maybe high school or a lower level?
Well, to be honest, I didn't picture myself coaching college tennis. I knew I wanted to coach tennis. I was coaching tennis, but I was involved in junior development. Mm-hmm. And high performance. However, when the chance came to coach my alma mater, Alabama A&M, a program that I hold very dear to my heart, I thought about it for a few days. At that time, I was still dating my wife, and I spoke to her and I asked her, "Hey, this opportunity came up. Well, what do you think? Should I take it?" And she said, "Of course, that's the program you played for. It's your school. You love the school. Then why wouldn't you want to coach there?" And that's how I ended up getting my first coaching job. And thanks to Brian Hicks and President Eugenie at that time, But ever since I took over, I've never thought twice about it. I'm always happy being out there. I'm always happy leading the program. I'm always happy working with the players that I have. So I'm actually very blessed to be coaching a sport that I love and at a school that I hold dear to my heart.
And now's the first time, Coach, you got the HBCU national title under your belt, so I think you're doing pretty good.
Yes, it's taken a while, but everything in God's time.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So the one question I ask is, especially with players, and since you were a player as well, Coach, who is your inspiration? Who do you model your game after? And then for you, Coach, who do you model your coaching style after? Like, who is the tennis player that just really is your idol?
You're about to make me show my age here, huh? Well, I'm a big Roger Federer fan. To me, I think is the best player to step on the tennis courts. But I do have a few players who I've come to admire lately. Rafa is one of them. As a coach, I would say my coach was a big inspiration to me, Coach Thomas Colvin. And my strength and conditioning coach at Alabama A&M, Coach Andrew Lee.
Yeah, Coach Lee. I know about it too.
was a big inspiration to me as well. And I try and copy his style of coaching where he gets the people side right, because he's a hard coach, but he's also very nice to his student athletes, So that's a coaching style that I've tried to copy, and of course put a little of my own style. But for a big part, it's Coach Lee who has been a big inspiration to me.
Nice.
Yeah, and Takozo, who do you model your game after, or your idol,
Well,
your inspiration?
In terms of inspiration, as cliche as this may sound, but I was inspired by Serena Williams. And that's because her background is more so similar to mine, as she was coached by her dad. My dad is also the one that, gave me my first racket and introduced me to the sport. So I resonate a lot with her in terms of that, and in terms of the challenges that she faced, growing up in a sport that wasn't so popular to people of color. So those are the challenges that I resonate with. And, her as an individual, that fighting spirit, that never give up, that always going out there, putting her best foot forward. Those are the qualities that I look up to and I try to implement myself. So she's definitely someone that I look up to, even though she's not, playing at the moment, but she'll always have a special place in my heart, because, she's one of the greats that I looked up to when growing up.
Well, I'm going to stay with that here into this next question, Takozo. You talk about just growing up and your journey. So I know that you didn't start at A&M, but I want to kind of go a little bit further back from that. So talk about where you're from and just your journey through from growing up, where you're from, and then making it into tennis and then leading it up to now. Just give us a little bit about who Takozo is and where she came from.
So Dogozo is a South African tennis player. Well, I started playing tennis at the age of 4 or 5. And like I'd mentioned, my dad is the one that introduced me to the sport. He was a coach, coaching other children in the township in South Africa. And then from there onwards, he decided to focus more on, me and the rest of my siblings. I started playing tournaments in South Africa, where I eventually got my WTA ranking. I was ranked high in the country. I traveled to the likes of Japan through tennis, representing South Africa. And then that's when I came to Cowley College, which is a college in Kansas. And then that's when I did my freshman and sophomore year. And then I transferred here thanks to Coach Willis Mbandi, who gave me the opportunity to further my skills in tennis. And that's when I completed my junior year here, and I'm currently doing my senior year. So that's just basically a summary of who Ntokozo Zungu is.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. And then for Coach, I know when you talked about Coach Andrew Lee, I know Coach Andrew Lee real well from running track and some of those moments in that weight room. So just when you were an athlete at A&M, just for folks who don't know you like we do, how did you even come to Alabama A&M? Like what options did you have out there when you were growing up as a junior player?
In my last year playing juniors, I did really well, and I had decent rankings in the ITF junior rankings. I think at that time I was ranked 450 in the world. I did have some options. Did get some offers from different schools, but Alabama A&M stood out to me because the coach was very. I felt like we had a personal connection. At that time, believe it or not, we were using MSN Messenger to chat to coaches.
Oh wow! I remember that.
And so I was back in Kenya, and of course he was here in the United States. But we had to set up a time when we can chat. And with some of the coaches, when I would go onto MSN Messenger, they would not be available or they would be busy. But my coach, Thomas Colvin, was always there and always chatting. So I just made the decision to come to Alabama A&M because it was somebody I could depend on and somebody who looked like he wanted me to come and play for the school. So that was an easy decision for me because it was a coach who wanted me to be there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ntokozo, did I say that right? Or
yes.
at least close? Okay, great. So I wanted to ask about getting your offer from Alabama A&M because I watched an interview. I think it was about a year ago. It was with Newsroom Africa. And so you mentioned during the interview how, you had aspirations of being a professional, tennis player, and receiving a D1 scholarship, will get you closer to that goal. So when, Coach Willis, found you and offered you the scholarship to come to A&M, talk about what that moment was, because now you're getting closer, to your dream of being a professional tennis player. So talk about that for a little bit with us.
So, as I mentioned prior, was that I was at a junior college in Kansas, Cowley College. So Coach Willis was talking to my father, showing interest in having me on the.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Showing interest in having me on the team. Oh.
It's about to get good too. I felt it.
It sure is.
I think she's going to jump right back in.
Yeah, she will. Jay, you got anything as you take yourself off mute?
So let me tell y'all that's watching. The reason why I have to put my phone on mute is because it's like Wild Kingdom over here. I have a cat and she is literally sitting on my foot and she gets really loud. So I have to mute because she would be a part of the show. She is looking at me right now too. So y'all don't mind
Nick
me.
says she is part of the show.
She really
All
is.
right. Ntokozo, go ahead. Continue.
Sorry, apologies for that. I don't know what's happening with the internet on campus. But as I'd mentioned, so Coach Willis was talking to my dad and explaining to him how interested he is in having me on the team. And my biggest dream was to play at a Division I, because not only do I want to, play tennis, but I want to, possibly, further my dreams of becoming a professional tennis player. Hence why I wanted to come to college so I can further my dream, because back home in South Africa, we don't really have those opportunities of becoming a professional tennis player while furthering your studies. They take sports as a hobby and not necessarily as something that you're really passionate in and something that you see a future in. So when I, got that offer from coach, I was excited, I was ecstatic, but I knew with that came, obligations, responsibilities, because there's certain duties that I also need to fulfill in order to keep that scholarship. So yes, I was happy, I was excited, but also I liked the challenge it came with it, because that was going to build my character, that was going to push me, to greater heights. So when coach gave me that scholarship, I was excited, and I felt like I'm a step closer to, hopefully achieving that dream of becoming a future.
Yeah, that's awesome. You said it's on now. I got that D1 scholarship. It's on now.
Right when the internet went back out again. All right, Jen.
I had a question for her, but I'll go with Coach. So she made a very good point about just being underrepresented and with people of color in the sport of tennis. So what advice do you have for the up and coming? Let's say we have some young future Bulldogs or kids that will watch this replay. What advice do you have for them that want to get into tennis and be the next generation?
Tennis is one of those sports where you will need a good team around you. You definitely have to have a good technical foundation with all your strokes. You need to be able to have a good coach who's going to lead you. And with the team around, we're talking about a good coach, a good fitness coach, and also plan your program where you're playing enough tournaments and you're able to develop. One of the reasons why I think not a lot of people of color play tennis, one, it's relatively expensive. But the second one, it takes a while for you to get going. It's not one of those sports where you can just go and play a game. Like, let's say soccer, even if you don't know how to play, kids still go out and play a game. But tennis is one of those sports where you have to learn the game, and it takes a little while to learn before you can start competing. And once you start competing, you still need to put in a lot of hours for you to get better. Yeah. So my advice would be get a good team around you, get you a good coach who's well invested in your development, and just put in the time and work hard. It can definitely be done.
Some good stuff. Now, here's a question from the group, and this is for both of you. Question, because I watch all this stuff too. What is your favorite tournament to watch out of the Grand Slams? Wimbledon, French Open, US Open, or the Australian?
Mine is Wimbledon.
I was just about to say the same thing.
So you love that Wimbledon on that grass, huh?
Yes.
I love the Wimbledon, the all whites, the
all white.
The all whites.
Exactly.
Yes.
It is so fresh to see. It is so. I love it. I love the fashions.
Yeah, that is pretty dope. But for me, I love US Open because it's like right around, because my birthday is at the end of August every year, and that's like always like right around when the tournament starts. I love it. I love the night matches at the US Open because when you get all the celebrities out there, and then like the match can go to like 2:00 in the morning, they going at it. So, but hey, Wimbledon though, definitely Wimbledon is my number 2, man. When y'all said the all whites,
the sophistication.
But does it feel like the US Open is more rowdier than Wimbledon? What y'all say? Like it's more...
it's definitely more. It definitely is to me.
the atmosphere at the U.S. Open is like no other. It's
They be
like
turning
the
up
U.S. Open is
on the
like a
US
big
Open?
party. Yeah.
I don't watch tennis, so I wouldn't know. So I'm in the minority on this.
You should, man. You
y'all
missing
said
out.
that
You
they
missing
turn
out,
up.
boy.
I might need to start watching then.
It's
missing out.
really, yeah, it's fun to watch. Now, once I figured out that love is not good, I said, "Oh, okay, cool. Now I know." You're like, "Oh, love, that sounds good, baby. You losing? Okay, now I know. Okay, now I know. Okay.
Not in the sports.
I spend. It's funny because I spend so much
Very
time. When I'm watching it, my wife will ask me. She said, "What'd you say the rules were again? What'd you say? They got to be the first to what in the set, and how many sets is it?" And I explain it all. But yeah, I love it all. My favorite player. My favorite player right now is I love Coco.
Oh yeah.
Coco Golf, but I also I know this might sound real crazy. People that I really like, and people that don't watch tennis and be like, what are y'all talking about? But I've been a Nick Kyrgios fan too.
I don't blame you, actually. I don't blame you. That's not far-fetched.
Yeah. Now, just for those that know, Nick Kyrgios is a guy, when you talk about wild and flamboyant,
Yes.
Nick Kyrgios is like, let's say if it's basketball, he's like Draymond Green playing tennis. Get in trouble, make a whole lot of noise, will cuss the officials out. Is that about a good comparison? Would you say?
That's a good comparison. That's a good comparison. But tennis needs Nick Kyrgios.
That's true.
We need him because I like him because he's very outspoken. He speaks his mind, and is not shy to call out on the big boys in the tour.
Yeah.
So I'm finna tell my age. Now of course I love the Williams sisters. I idolize them, wanted to wear my hair in beads sometimes, but growing up before we had that, we didn't really have that representation. So growing up, I would always watch Andre Agassi. Like he was, he just seemed so cool with it. But yeah, we just, we really didn't have that representation until, of course, you had prior to that, Arthur Ashe, but that was a little before my time. But yeah.
Well, we got Big Foe out there, Francis. Francis Tiafoe out there.
Yes.
See, I'm telling y'all, man. I watch all this, man. I watch the whole when the Grand Slam start, man. I watch that whole thing start to finish, like Australian Open. Back when they had the now here we dating it now. Remember when everybody had the DVR? Because remember the championship match would come on at like 3:00 in the morning.
3 in the morning,
Yes.
right?
And I would DVR and I'll wake up on Sunday morning and watch it. So yeah. That's some good stuff. So
let me
go ahead, Dave.
Ask real quick, because I've always heard this. You mentioned that playing tennis can be pretty expensive. Like I'm pretty sure all sports are. But can you give us off the top of your head some of the cost somebody might incur from wanting to play tennis? Is it just with the equipment, the rackets, the balls, the outfits, or is it having a private instructor? What are some of those cost breakdowns that make this sport so expensive?
Well, you mentioned some of them, the main ones. The instructor, the coach, your equipment. You have to buy rackets. When you play, you go through strings. You have to restring your rackets. You go through shoes. You have to travel to go play tournaments. Hotel. But it's the frequency in which you go through your shoes and your strings and the amount of coaching that you have to get. It's one of those sports, like I said, especially when you're starting and throughout your career, you have to train almost every day for you to play at that high level, about 2 hours a day. So that's where I believe the cost comes in.
What's the average cost of a racket? If it's somebody's getting like, you want a good racket,
A
the
good
brand
racket.
and the cost.
You're looking at about $250.
Whew. So the tennis
Okay.
racket I got was $40. So I ain't ready for nobody's players.
That's all right, Jay. So long as it works for you, that's fine.
That was surprising because I thought it would have been more than that, but that doesn't sound, too bad.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if you're playing at a competitive level, you need to have at least 3 rackets for you to be playing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that's
So
different.
you can't just have 1 racket.
Oh yeah, I would have been out then.
Well, we'll get you both out of here on this one. All right. Now I know that you, Coach Willis, you're also coaching the men's team as well. So as you all have your season coming forward, talk a little bit about, name some of the players and some, just give them a shout out for those that are not here that we like to know some about. Just give them an introduction.
Well, Wayne, you're gonna have me name the whole team here.
Just some of the key players, some of your key players. I know you don't want to slight everybody.
Yeah, but not forget nobody because you're definitely going to hear about it tomorrow.
Yes. I'm excited about my whole women's team this year, and I'm looking forward to one of our freshmen competing, Naomi Blanks. She's been training well, developing well, so looking forward to see her competing in the spring. Of course, the leadership of Mtokozo. I feel like I can name everybody. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Gabby, Alicia, Valentine, Yana. On the men, looking for Scott to help us with some leadership. Also looking for a great year from AP, Kai. Can I go ahead and just name everybody?
The safest way, Coach. That's the safest way.
Yeah. I look for him to have a good year. I would say we've got 2 new guys who I think they should do pretty well. Tasso and Agustin. Of course, Lebo. So just from everybody, I think everybody is a key player for me. That's why it's very hard for me to just name a few. So if I left you out, you're still a big player for me, and I'm still looking for big things from you next season.
Well, that's what's up, man. And I just want to say again, we like to say thank you for just coming on, and we wish you all the greatest of luck as you prepare to embark on the spring part of the schedule that's coming forward. We know that there's still much practicing indoors, all that weight training, all those different things is coming ahead. But Takozu, see, I knew I was going to say it wrong. Takozu, Zungu, and Coach Willis Mandy, thank y'all so much. And we salute tennis for doing big things.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having us. And I really hope you guys can catch one of our matches in the spring.
Yes. And hopefully the next time we have this, we'll be swag champions.
Hey,
yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed that y'all have some matches in Birmingham.
Hey, all right. God bless y'all. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wade.
Thank you.
All right.
That was dope.
All right. Off they go.
That was really dope.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, with everything that's going on, I want to briefly with the two of you. The other part of this show tonight is about the pulse of HBCUs, and we're definitely going to get to our pick segment here in a minute. But just for the next little bit here, I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit briefly, and also those that are with us watching, definitely chime in the comments and continue to participate as you do. But over this weekend, there was a homecoming at Tuskegee, and there was a shooting incident that took place. There was a loss of life, and there were other injuries. Also, there's been other incidents that have taken place at other campuses, um, whether it was directly on campus or in the surrounding areas. Um, Now, just yesterday, Tuskegee announced that they were putting in restrictions uh, for visitation on campus, to where any person visiting campus that's not a student, faculty, or staff has to be properly identified. There's been a lot of opinions on that, as well as how people feel about whether homecomings altogether or events on campuses altogether like that should even allow outside visitors to come. Uh, so Dave and Jen, I'll turn to you two. Jen, you first, and then Dave, you can go second, and just kind of talk about your thoughts on the situation at hand, and also solutions possibly.
Honestly, like when the news happened, I was like, what? I was so confused because I was like, a mass shooting at Tuskegee. Like, when we always hear about mass shootings, but this one hit a little too close for home for me because, for one, all of us that's watching, we have friends and family that attended Tuskegee or was out there. I had two cousins that were at the game. So my first thing was like, oh my goodness, let me check on my cousins. And so it totally didn't dawn on me that I have friends that have kids that went there. Like, I was just so out of it because it was just a lot to take in. So with that being said, because if I do feel so sorry for the young man that lost his life, and from what I've heard, now I don't know if this is true or not, but he died trying to shield someone else. So that just, my sincerest condolences to his family. With about Tuskegee and their choices to be made, I'm not in a place to say whether they made the right decision or not, because they are there. They feel the pulse for their students. They're dealing with the aftermath. And I'm the type person, do whatever you need to do to make sure everyone feels safe. With that being said, I kind of want to talk to us as a community. Um, yes, it was Tuskegee today. Unfortunately, it will be another place tomorrow. We pray that it doesn't happen, but let's be realistic. Violence has permeated our community. We're gonna have to have some tough conversations with each other. And when I say we, I mean everyone. I don't have kids. However, what I can do is try to reach children that are already here. I can talk about in my own personal life. I said that I just kind of want my plate is full, but now I started. I recently started working with the young people at my church. And that means, some days you may have to give up a Saturday, you may have to give up, this or that, but we need to be accessible to these kids. They are dealing with things that we have no clue about, even though we're not necessarily old. This generation is facing a lot of challenges that we didn't have to face. So everyone, we have got to get with our young people just so they know that they have more options than the street gangs, violence, that, know that, hey, I have options more than taking this machine gun to a to a football game and harming innocent people. So honestly, my call is to us as a community, everybody. We got to do better. we are losing this generation, and it's scary because I am so tired of looking at the news and seeing another person cut down in their youth. 18 is too young. They said the young man was getting ready to start a job on next week, and now it's just like he had a future ahead of him, and now his family has to bury him. So it's just, I support Tuskegee and what they feel they need to do, but my just commentary is to us as a community. We have got to do better. We got to get in these streets. We got to reach these young people, because if we don't, we're going to lose a whole generation to violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well said, Jen. I pretty much agree with everything Jen said. When I first heard about it, I definitely said, "Oh, here we go again, another shooting." And homecoming, especially for us that attended HBCUs, this is, a time for us to come back, reconnect with people we were on campus with, and just have a great time. Oftentimes when you hear us talk about our HBCUs, every one of us always says family. I feel like I was home. And that's what we come back to. We come back to family. And to hear that, during this time with Tuskegee's having their homecoming and this shooting happens, is like, man, we just can't, get together and have a good time anymore. And again, to Jen's point, it's not just with homecoming. It could be at, just an outing at the park, because about to curse, because some dumb folks who don't have a care in the world. And that's what it kind of seems like to me, that these younger generation kids don't have a care in the world. And so the actions that Tuskegee took, I think, were something immediate that they had to do to show, the community, to show the world, to show these parents that, hey, the first priority we have is to keep our students and our faculty safe. And if this goes to a shut the campus down type of moment, to where you got to be badged in to get on campus, you got to wear a visitor's badge if you're visiting, if you're a student or a faculty member, you got to wear your ID at all times, just so we could know who's here. Random searches they're going to start doing, then that's what they have to do. Now, some people, were saying that, hey, this is just, too much. But for now, this is what they have to do to keep everybody safe. And then when it pertained to the football game, people who attended the game were saying that they were kind of questioning, like, how did somebody come in with a machine gun, to this game? And people were saying that, this might be something else Tuskegee may need to look into, if this is an issue that they're having, which I think most of us have experienced this issue, right? Because we've even had people mention it at our games, that the lines to get into these games are, too long. They don't have, multiple entrances to get into the game. So after a while, the event staff kind of just starts letting people in because the lines are getting too long. So there might needs to be multiple checkpoints to get into the stadium and have multiple security officers there. I'm not exactly sure, but I think the shutdown of the campus is something immediate Tuskegee had to do until they come up with a wider solution to this situation, so it doesn't happen again in the future.
Yeah, and I'll finish by saying this, and then we can move on. I know that all of us, we that come to these events, uh, it doesn't even necessarily have to be homecoming. It can be just any event on any campus. I'm not even talking about just an HBCU. I mean, in any campus. This with the idea that you're coming to have a good time, you're coming to celebrate, you're coming to enjoy just some time out. And unfortunately, we're at a point where, some people, they have to second guess places that they go and some events that they go to. And that is definitely unfortunate, that we're at the place where you have to second guess whether it's safe for you to go to this event, because you're wondering if it's going to be properly secured, or if you go to a place and you have to think, is there a potential avenue for violence? And we know that for a lot of these situations that take place, many times this is a person or persons that happen to be coming looking to resolve a conflict in their own violent way. And what ends up happening is that there are innocent bystanders that get caught up in the fray.
Yep.
And I am just at the place where I know that people can say what they want to say about what they think gun regulations and gun laws are. You know, that's definitely way above like my level of thoughts. But what I can say is that security wise, I know that you can have as many officers as you want. It's still, there are places where they've had several officers and there was still something that popped off. So the answer is what you said, Dave and Jen. It's got to be a personal change. It's got to be a personal thing to where, hey, I am not going to make my anger or make whatever my thoughts or whatever my feelings are. I'm not going to make it bigger, too big to where I am going to go out here and cause some folks some harm. So I just wanted to just say that, and I'm glad that we had a moment to kind of pause and say that. But yes, we got to do better. And it's prayers that we will do better. And that there's some pretty intelligent people out here that are on these campuses. There's some really intelligent presidents, administrations that can do these things. And there are people who are willing to support and do their help and do the help and do the work that's necessary to make sure that these things don't happen. So shout out to Tuskegee. They're in the process of rebuilding and putting things together. And yeah, we're going to move forward. All right, everybody, it's that time for picks as we begin to close out the show this evening. So this is the penultimate week of the regular season. So those that are watching, make sure you go ahead and put your picks in the comments. We've got some games headed forward. So Bethune-Cookman. Hard luck losing Bethune-Cookman, man. Went 5 overtimes with Southern. Yeah, 5 overtimes, man. They just couldn't get it over the finish line. And they take their show on down to Houston. And think about that. They just went from Daytona to Baton Rouge and back home. Now they're getting ready to come right back across the country to come to Houston to play another road game to Texas Southern. And Texas Southern, they got taken to the woodshed in that second half last week by Alcorn. So both teams coming off a loss. Dave, who you think, man? What you got?
Man. You can't even say nothing really. I got nothing for either school, so I'm just gonna pick one. I'm gonna go with Texas Southern.
All right, Jen.
Let's flip a coin.
Right.
Okay. Where's the game? The game is in Texas. Let's go with Texas Southern. I mean, I have no clue. I don't know.
All right. Man, I gotta make a pick, man. And oh man. Shoo. Man, Texas Southern. All right.
Just hop on the train with us.
Yeah. Okay. Now I put our game up early in the lineup because our game is on Thursday. And to be honest, you know, we're playing to finish the season strong here. So Dave and then Jen, what are some of the things that you hope to see in this game on Thursday night for us to get a win?
What I'm hoping to see, I know we've talked about the whole musical chairs quarterback thing, and that's obviously still happening. So I wouldn't even touch on that. What worked for us, and I know, you know, Pine Bluff is not Grambling, or Grambling isn't Pine Bluff, but the run works for us. So that's what we need to stick to. So if we can, you know, hold that solid run game, then I think we can come out on top on this.
All right, Jen.
Pretty much what Dave said. Also, what I want to point out is this: we need to establish a lead and keep it. This season we haven't done well playing from behind. So I think that if we, run the ball, have a consistent, pick a quarterback, and build a early lead, I think we should be good.
All right. Well, for me, Grambling is making a trip on a short week. Let's take advantage of that. All right. Uh, go Bulldogs. All right. Whew, back to the string now. Oh, shout out the Valley. Shout out the Valley. They go down to Florida A&M, who's coming off a loss at Prairie View, and they should be pretty ticked off, ready to play this game against Valley. All right, Jen. Do you see anything other than FAMU winning this game, or do you give Valley a chance?
FAMU, why are we doing this? FAMU has a bone to pick after they lost to Prairie View. What was so funny that they were saying that was the battle of the hill, and neither one of those schools can claim the title, but that's neither here nor there. With that being said, it's going to be FAMU by a lot. Big.
Oh man. All right, Dave.
The backup quarterback for FAMU, does he play this game as well?
We'll see. They haven't said anything about Richardson yet.
Okay. So and I didn't watch a lot of this game. FAMU just looked so out of sync without that quarterback. They didn't look like the FAMU that we've seen during the previous game. So if we see that same FAMU, Valley could come out with a win on this. I don't know if I want to lean and say I'm going to go with Valley. I'm going to go with Valley. I'm going for the underdog because everybody expects Valley to lose. So I'm going to go with Valley. Let's go, Valley.
Man, listen, I'm not listen, I'm gonna be real nice to as my boy old Unc like to say, our first cousins, Elvin Chris, who he always like say that Valley is their first cousin. I'm gonna be real nice to Valley because we play them next week. I'm gonna say this in a very calm voice. Valley, you're not gonna win this game. FAMU's gonna beat you by a pretty good amount. But we don't want to give you anything because we hope to make sure that you guys don't get your first win against us next week either. Okay, there I said it. Let's move on. All right, down in Prairie View. This is a huge game for Alcorn. Now, Prairie View is oh, look, we got somebody trying to join us. T Gooden, you there? We got you if you're there.
What up, T?
So this is a big game for
I'm here. I kind of put in there. I said, hey, I'm about to join on the back end, but don't add me because I'm driving. But now since you said it, I'm here.
Okay. Hey, all right. So we got a big game here for Alcorn. Now Prairie View is eliminated. They're eliminated because it's a very long story about there could be a three-way tie at 5-3, but their in conference record is 1-3, so that eliminates them from any possibility. But they're in the midst to play spoiler against Alcorn, who needs to win to stay alive. They need to win and hope that Southern loses to stay alive. So T Gooden, do you see Alcorn staying alive here, or do you see Prairie View putting them away?
Flip a coin. that's your winner. Flip a coin, and that's your winner, man. Like I really don't know. I don't. Prairie View's at home, so just because they're the home team, I'll give them the advantage. But you can still flip a coin.
All right, Jen.
The purple and gold team is going to win. That's what I got. Shoot. I know like Southern is leading, and I'm not going to even get into the clinches. I know Alcorn is still alive, so I don't know if that's going to, motivate them. But Prairie View is coming off that big win against FAMU. I'm gonna have to go with Prairie View.
All right, Dave.
I'm gonna go with Alcorn for that reason that Jen said. Alcorn, again, not going into all these different scenarios of what could happen, what has to happen, but Alcorn still got something to play for, plain and simple. And so I think Alcorn gonna come out there and play hard. So I'm gonna go with Alcorn.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Alcorn also. I think that Alcorn, the last time they played down there, they did win. That was 2 years ago. I think Alcorn, given the fact that they know that they have to win, I think they get this one done. All right, now here's Southern. This is a clinching. If Southern wins, this is it. It is over in the West if they win this game. Now, we saw what they did last week when they played a team that was inferior and they had to go 5 overtimes and barely got it done. Pine Bluff comes in wounded. Yeah, Pine Bluff comes in this sucker wounded. They are limping to the finish. All right, Dave, do you see any possibility of an upset here?
I don't know. Because Southern has just been getting by with these games. Southern, I mean, they've won their games, but they haven't dominated anybody in these games. You know what I mean? And so Pine Bluff could be that school that will sneak up behind them, but I kind of don't see Pine Bluff doing that, but they have that capability, right? So I'll go with Southern for this game.
All right.
Go with Southern.
Jen?
Yeah, all of these games this week is just really tough. I'm gonna have to go with Southern.
I don't know what it is. We just can't pick them.
We can't pick them. I'm gonna have to go with Southern. I think they'll put it together because they know that they have to clinch. So I'm gonna go with Southern.
T?
Yeah, I'm going to go. Well, Dave said they haven't dominated. One thing about most sports, you ain't got to dominate. You just got to win by 1 point. Southern wins this game like they always, like they've had. I don't see Pine Bluff coming in and being good enough to beat them this week.
Yeah, I've got Southern. I think Southern's going to show up and play a lot better of a game than they did last week. I think that they're desperate to finish this thing out in front of their home fans because this is their last game at home. So give me Southern. Oh, now we finish it out with this one. This is the big one here in the SWAC East. This is the clincher potentially for Jackson State. If they win, it is all over in the East. Alabama State, if they win, they will stay alive for another week. All right. So, T. Gooden, what do you think, man? I know Alabama State beat these guys last year for their homecoming. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Jackson State University on this one, man. I know they think they clinched it already, so hopefully they realize they have to win now to actually truly clinch it. And I think they will, so I go with Jackson State on the road with the victory.
Jen?
I hope they both lose, but since that cannot happen, I think Jackson State is coming in with a chip on their shoulder. They know they're so close to clinching, and what better place to clinch against a team that beat you at homecoming? I think Jackson State pulls it off.
Dave?
Yeah, Jackson State wins this.
Yeah, as much as I would love to see the Hornets get this done, I think their best chance died when Brandon Gilliam missed that 28-yard field goal. And I think that they're gonna fight hard. They're gonna play them real tough. But I think Jackson State is gonna wear them out in the fourth quarter, and get out of there with a dub and celebrate the East Championship on their home field. I mean, on their in Montgomery. So, yeah, Jackson State. All right, so that is our pick segment. And now let's talk about what we have for next week.
Coming up on the next episode of From the Hill Podcast, we have American Idol winner, national recording artist, and Alabama A&M alum Ruben Studdard.
Hello everybody, it's Ruben Studdard here. Listen, I will be on the From the Hill Podcast Tuesday, November 19th with all my Bulldogs. Y'all make sure y'all tune in and clock in with your boy, Ruben Studdard. Peace.
Plus, we'll get you all caught up on all of the A&M sports action. Won't you join us live Tuesday, November 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It's fun. It's you. It's us. It's From the Hill Podcast.
Hey, that's next week.
Ruben.
Yep, Ruben Studdard joining us next week. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that.
Yep.
Want to send a big shout out tonight to Kozo Zungu and Coach Willis Mbandi of our tennis team. Shout out to our tennis team. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. I know that there was some technical difficulties with the live stream here, but we do have this recording, so we definitely are going to make sure that that we re-upload this so that everybody can see this. I'll definitely do that when this show concludes, because it's now come to my very apparent that a lot of our audience didn't see the rest of this live. So for those that did see this live, or those that are going to see this recording, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure that you subscribe, and also be sure to join us next week, because it's going to be a really, really big show. Ruben Studdard, American Idol winner, recording artist, and Alabama A&M Bulldog alum, man. It's going to be awesome. So everybody keep yourselves apprised of all of the sports that are going on. If you're in the area and you can make it Thursday night, blackout for A&M football as they take on Grambling. Also tomorrow night, men's basketball taking on Fisk. Be in the house for that. And then also volleyball, they round out their regular season schedule on Friday against Alcorn, and then Sunday afternoon, senior day, against Southern, as they get ready to roll into the SWAC tournament. So, and also last but not least, I also want to send another shout out to A&M women's soccer for winning a game in the tournament and pushing the regular season champion Texas Southern in the semifinals, pushing them a full 90 minutes. They fell in the semifinals, but they advanced further than they did last year. So shout out to them. So yeah, big show, great show, Dave, T Gooden, and Jay the Great. We will see everybody here next week. Peace.